We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Welcome to the DotCast from NineDots. NineDots is the online learning community for wedding photographers. You can become a member and find out about our annual conference, the NineDots Gathering, at nine-dots.co.
Shall I do the intro?
What are we talking about again?
You do the intro and Rahul can then take over and I'll nod.
We can't nod, it's audio. Hey, welcome back to the NineDots DotCast. Today's me, Adam Johnson, and also joined by Rahul Khona.
Yo.
And also he's back. He's back from the mountain.
Woo!
It's Andy Gaines.
Hey world, how's it going? Are we good?
Good. So it's been a while since there's been three of us on the DotCast for various reasons. And it's nice. It's nice to have the family back together. How was the holiday, Andy?
Awesome, mate. So good.
Feel recharged.
Yeah, but also worn out because it turns out I'm 40 now and not 21, and so I'm a bit weak and old and fat.
Yeah.
But other than that, great.
Great. Good to hear. But this week, while you were away, me and Rahul went to Elevate conference in London. So it was pretty good, eh, Rahul?
Yeah, it was really good. Had a good time.
Yeah. So learned some stuff.
Yeah, it was nice to obviously take a step back and just enjoy some talks and listen to the speakers. It was good.
Yeah. Any for you? I'll tell you mine in a minute. But any major takeaways from the day?
I think a lot of it was more like reinforcement for me, and I'm kind of doing some stuff all right, and some stuff I should be improving on.
It's funny though, isn't it? Obviously, two of the speakers. Hold on, who spoke? Yeah, two of the speakers, York Place Studios and Alan Law. We've heard them speak before. We know them really well. We banter with them all the time about some of the stuff they were talking about. But I still found that I took quite a bit from those talks, even though I kind of know what those guys think and know what they do. There's still stuff to take away. Like Alan, just to give him an extra plug, he did this kind of left field thing at the end of his talk, right? Which was just a last lecture style thing. Like if that's his last time on stage, what did he want to tell everyone? And I thought it was really cool to go a bit left field and a bit away from photography.
Yeah. What was the thing you wanted to tell everybody? Wash your hands.
It was almost like, yeah, wash your hands. Yeah, there we go. No, it's just kind of like rules he lives his life by in a way.
Oh, nice.
And obviously how that feeds into because the person you are is the photographer you are, obviously, and how the two kind of link up and join together. So I found it so interesting and kind of refreshing as well, because it wasn't what you usually hear at these things.
Yeah.
I think it was my favorite part of the whole conference was that last 20 minutes of his talk. It was refreshing to hear,
Yeah, and he got really passionate as well.
Yeah, I got really passionate.
He did, yeah.
Load of bugbears, but it's great to hear.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. And even York Place as well. We've hung out with them over the years, and they've spoken at the gathering once. But even then, I found myself learning new stuff from them during the talk. Very thoughtful people, those guys. They put a lot into the thinking behind their talk and their work. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's true what you're saying now. I think there's so much information out there, and I think we're all kind of in a way we're all as photographers now through conferences and online and Facebook and all this. We're kind of exposed to all the knowledge, right, and all the info. And so, like you say, you hear it once and it goes in, but whether how deep it goes in it varies, right? So like you say, you hear stuff again that you already know, but it only requires you to hear it again, maybe from someone else or in a different context, and suddenly it sparks something deeper that before it maybe just washed over you.
Yeah. As long as you go to these things with an open mind, that's important as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the other point is people maybe look at people like us who've been. I'm not saying we've been doing it forever, but we've been doing it a while, 10 years.
It feels like it.
Yeah, and then they might be like, well, why do you guys go to things like this? You surely you know as much as you need to know. But I think our philosophy has always been that you never know as much as you need to know.
Yeah, for sure. And also, there's that 100%. And also just the fact that there's the whole added value that these kind of events give, right? We talk about it with NineDots, and it's the same for any of these kind of little communities. It's like the kind of the community element and coming together and just hanging out with your peers and realizing you're not by yourself and that you're part of something bigger. It's super valuable, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think the three of us all think that's the most valuable part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
It was great to like see so many like familiar faces and hang out with everyone for a day and talk about photography and how is it going for them and stuff like that, because no one else wants to hear me talk about that apart from other wedding photographers, right? So it's literally like, yeah, it was good. It was great.
Yeah, and even
Nice.
on Monday we got, because it was the day before Elevate, and we were like, well, people are going to be in the area. Then we got we got all the NineDots members who were going to Elevate together, and a lot of people who weren't going to Elevate, but together just for a day of kind of informal learning and chats. And Rahul did a live shoot there with a video light. So it's been a good time of learning. But Andy, you've been to a boring workshop in Poland as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, but it's just what we were saying. Like, the more you can do these things, the better. You never get, bored. Like I've been to boring a few times now. I spoke there, and I've just been as a punter, and yeah, it's great. Just for the same reasons we've said. Like you can always learn stuff. I remember we always talk about the first NineDots gathering when we got like the Chrismans and Two Man and all those people to speak. And we couldn't believe that those people were sat in the audience at all the other talks making notes.
Yeah.
That just reinforced that idea that the people who are great in the industry and have got that longevity understand the value of constantly being able to learn and realizing that they can constantly learn from people you wouldn't expect them to be able to learn from, right? And it was amazing. It was the same at the boring workshop in Poland last week. That same thing again. Both Lanny and Erica Man sat there, watched through every talk, making notes, writing stuff down. It's like, it's inspiring, super inspiring to see people who are at the top of the game open to learning, and that's like you said, it's where we go. There's always a nugget to pick up. So one of the speakers there was Jennifer Moa, who spoke at NineDots Gathering. So I've kind of seen her present before, and her presentation this time was really similar. But like you just said, you always pick up something new, or you notice something you didn't think, or something resonates with you more the second time you see the talk, just because maybe you're in a different headspace, or you're in a different mindset at that week than you were 2 weeks before or whatever. So yeah, it was amazing, really good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's amazing. I wish we could have all gone to that, really.
Next year, dude.
Yeah, and obviously run by our longtime friend Magic Subalowski.
Yeah, and also Mark Procura from Wooden Banana. So yeah, if you're listening, send us an invite, team.
Yeah, no, I mean, also Rahul and I think you were going to try and come, but Rahul and I were definitely going to go to Bodaf, or how you say it, Bodaf. I don't know what you say. In Barcelona next month, which has obviously been a victim of the coronavirus, so that's not going to happen. But I guess the point is, like, even we've all been doing it a while, we still place a high value on kind of investing in yourself. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but still really it's actually more important to do that than save up for the new Canon EOS R5 featured in episode 10 of the NineDots DotCast.
Yes, it is.
Plug. Yeah. And you know what, like I was excited. I was really excited for that, for Bodaf. Like just to sit back and listen to like Lanny and Erica Chrismans, like their lineup was really good, because even though we've had them at NineDots, like I never feel like I can fully sit and chill out and soak in what they're always saying, because there's so many other things that we need to be thinking about at the same time.
Yeah.
So like to actually go there and switch off and learn from them, oh man, would have been amazing. It's super gutted that it's cancelled or postponed now.
Yeah, hopefully we can make it in. They've not announced new dates yet, have they? But I think it's going to be like September, October time or something.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they were saying. Same with the photography show. That was supposed to be next week. Next week, and I was going to go down to that as well. That's going to be now September. This is not an episode about the coronavirus, but it's impossible to not mention it at this at this difficult time. But yeah, I mean and I was 3 weeks ago, no, like more. Yeah, 4 weeks ago, I went to Doc Day in Dublin as well to learn some stuff over there. And that was really cool. That was kind of, I didn't know, I kind of had no expectations of that one. That's run by two really cool people, Kevin and Annie, who came to the NineDots Gathering last year. And it's pure documentary. And I'm not a pure documentary photographer, but even then, it's like you don't have to be to go to these things. Like you can learn stuff from, like you were saying before, like from anyone who does it in any way, and then you implement that little bit into your work. Yeah, you don't have to well, I'm not a documentary photographer, so I can't go to that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, even on the basic level of, well, if you watch a talk and it's like, that's not, you can watch a talk and at the end of it, like, well, that's not how I want to run my business or make my pictures. Like that's a valuable takeaway. to reinforce what you're doing as much as it is to want to do that, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what you said before, Rahul, pretty much about kind of the Elevate experiences. You're not going to learn something from everyone, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's just about reinforcing, I guess, like stuff that you kind of know, and then I feel like, oh, actually, yeah, good, I'm on a good path, or like, oh, that's good, I shoot details this way. Oh, that's good to know that I do this, or maybe there's certain things that people do mention, and would be stuff that I don't want to do, and like, you know, so yeah, just like Andy just said, like that's also a valuable lesson. So then you can just like tailor your own wedding photos around how you want to show them. It was a bit, I was just going to say, like, I mean, this was a long time ago, but last year I went to a videography conference in Barcelona with Mick. And even though, like, obviously I've had no interest in making wedding videos whatsoever, but it was like great to actually learn from them guys and watch and listen to them talk and how they think as well. And like picked up some really good stuff. Like I really enjoyed, a lot of those talks, and they made me change some stuff of what I do, like I guess of the way I take photos, and also like even changed the way I make my slideshows, because I saw some of their highlight films that they were doing, and I was just like, man, I think I could incorporate some of the stuff they do, but do it for me and do it for my wedding photos,
Yeah, like something like videography. Yeah, for sure. It's like it's a different business, but it's also there's so many parallels, right? So you can learn stuff even if it's even if you're not making videos.
Yeah, I mean, and creatives learn from creatives. I think that's always going to be the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody, I taught some workshops last year, and the workshop I did in Manchester, a DJ. I mean, he does a bit of photography, but he's mainly a DJ, and he came to the workshop because he thought he could learn some mindset style stuff really that he can take back into his creative business, which is DJing.
Right.
And I was like, why
That's
would
cool.
you? Yeah, that is cool, right?
That's awesome. Yeah.
So,
I think one thing as well that which is kind of leads on to from this is that at the heart of it, I think the majority, or maybe all of kind of wedding, or certainly the majority of wedding photographers that we know who are working, they're kind of at the heart of themselves. They're more entrepreneurs than they are photographers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or there is as much entrepreneurs and as much a business owner as they are photographer. And so, like you say, those kind of skill set and values and the things that make you successful entrepreneur and running a small business and having these ideas that you can implement in your business, like, yeah, that's way beyond how to use a camera and how to make good special pictures. And so, like you say, you can take those tips from a whole array of different like industries and people, but also then that kind of leads on to the idea that, which we always say at NineDots, is the most valuable things that you'll get out is that community, and it's the conversations you'll have with people or suppliers or whatever, like in the breaks, so you're going to spark up conversations with people you've only just met who are from different areas or different regions and who work in a different way, but those kind of like entrepreneurial conversations can lead to all sorts of awesome collaborations and ideas and improvements in your business and things like that. So yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was taking that, but yeah,
I know. And then it just ended all of a sudden. Like you were on an amazing monologue, and then you just ended with a because
I ran out of breath.
Yeah,
I'm gasping now.
That was painfully obvious. It's painful, but I mean, I'm just going back to Doc Day, which was the one in Dublin. There was just a few like cool little points that I came home thinking, I'm going to try that. Or I'm going to do that in my business. Like there's a guy, it's called Shane O'Neill, cool photographer. And I was watching his, and he has alongside his wedding. This was a bit of a theme of the day actually, but alongside his wedding photography, he has all these little personal projects that run through his life, and also that he does kind of tries to create a series of pictures from wedding to wedding. So it's not like so he does work that spans several weddings or a season, as well as just like that wedding. Do you know what I mean? Mm. So that was I always like hearing stuff like that, because first of all, it makes me feel like I'm not a real photographer, because I'm the guy that just goes to a wedding and comes home and almost sees each wedding as just its own standalone thing, which is, it's fine. But sometimes I really like to be inspired to be more of a photographer, in life. And I got that from him. And also just a little thing, which was, he was talking about albums and stuff, and how we sell albums to be these really special things that are almost so special that nobody wants to touch them or show them to anyone. And then that almost defeats the object from a business perspective for us, because we've built it up to be such a special thing that they never bring it out because they don't want anyone to touch it ever.
It lives in like a glass case.
Yeah.
Sealed. Yeah.
So just a bit of a kind of his philosophy around like, don't make it so special, don't make it so expensive. Give people stuff that they're happy to take to work, or take to the hairdressers or have in their bag, and I thought that was something I'd not really thought about before. Because a lot of the focus around albums is that they are really special and they are heirlooms, and that kind of album has its place. But equally, that I thought the stuff that Shane was talking about also has its place, especially from a business perspective. And then there was a guy there, Jay Doherty, who's really well known over in Ireland. He runs a thing called the Learning to Fly Retreat as well. And he's just a hilarious guy. And it was incredible listening to him talk. And he's just one of the most infectious characters you'll ever meet. And on the face of it, it was almost more like a comedy sketch than a wedding photography talk. But there's just tiny things that he said. One of the things was he always has a second shooter associate person at every wedding with him. And one of the first things he teaches them is that when you're offered a cup of tea, you say yes. And it's just such
strong advice.
Yeah, it's such a tiny thing. And he was like, because, you've just come into somebody's house and they say, do you want a cup of tea? And if you say no, it just makes everything a bit awkward.
Yeah, it's just like, it's negative from the off, isn't it?
And I was like, that's such a tiny, throwaway piece of advice that is potentially so huge in the whole rapport building, humanizing element of being a wedding photographer. So I hope they don't mind me giving away these nuggets from their talks, but yeah, that was two tiny things really, but that I took away from Doc Day. And then met a load of people. Met people I'd met before. Some of the people that had been to NineDots, some new people, and and I found that just as much fun and just as valuable as sitting in the audience.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what's the moral of the story?
The moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is make friends. Find that tribe of people and go and continue learning in the company of others.
Yeah, and equally, don't stop learning because you've started teaching. Because I think that's a theme of the industry. Just to have a little bit of a rant about it, but it's almost like you get into photography, you get reasonably good at it, so then you start offering workshops, and as soon as you start offering workshops, you stop going to them. So don't be that guy. Yeah,
for sure. But also, I think that line is a very grey line, isn't it? Because people share advice and offer advice and things all the time. Like you and so again, that's what we were saying. You can offer that advice, and you've got things to teach people, even if you've only been shooting for a week. You've got life skills, you've got experiences, that other people can learn from. So share the love, and don't feel like you can't share that love, and don't feel like you can't offer that advice, and be humble at whatever stage you're at to be able to take that advice and to learn.
Yeah. I think I've told this story before on the podcast, but I did Fairwear Eastie's workshop 2012, I think it was, in Manchester. And he singled out a guy who'd come to the workshop who'd been a wedding photographer for a long time, and singled him out and said, I want to be you. Like, I want to still be passionate about learning when I've been doing it for, I can't remember how long this guy been doing it, I think, but it was a long time, 20 years.
Let's say 800 years.
Yeah, it's about 800 years. And Fair singled him out in just a really nice way to say, fair play to you, because everyone else who was there was a bit like me, like 2 years in, 3 years in, obsessed with Fair, like everyone is. And this guy had come despite having all that experience, all those years of experience, because for whatever reason, he just wants to carry on learning, or he wants to stay relevant in the industry. There's a lot of reasons to go to these things and to keep investing in yourself and investing in the learning side of your business. Yeah, if you want to stay up there.
And the face-to-face thing, I think, is super important, because it's very easy to sit at home and to become like a bit of a grumpy keyboard warrior. Yeah. When you don't know any of these people. So I just think having that personal face-to-face interaction, ironically at the time when coronavirus is, shutting down face-to-face interactions, but the being able to just meet people for real, IRL, as the kids would say, and hang out with them and see who they are and get to know them, it's just super important, and it stops you being that kind of angry old photographer if you've been doing it for a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to be that angry old photographer guy.
They do. No, they don't.
Especially when they've just turned 40.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Yeah. I've got to be extra careful now.
Yes, you have. Yeah, you got to really look after yourself now. You've crossed that hill.
Yeah. Does it have official designation?
What, being over 40?
Yeah.
When you're 80, you're an octogenarian, aren't you? So what? I don't know. What would a 40 be?
Quadragenarian.
Well, that's you.
Yeah.
If it didn't exist already, that's what we're going to call it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. It's a whole new genre. I'm going to start a whole new genre photography, mate.
Yeah, you should.
Where the money is.
There was a picture of you on Instagram with 2 pieces of rock in your hand. What happened there?
Oh, dude, I nearly killed my friend. So we were. It was fine. No one died. We were climbing, and I managed. I think it's because I put on a few pounds. I kind of was quite high. I was about maybe 20 or 30 meters in the air, like up a cliff. And he was at the bottom holding the rope. And I pulled on a big lump of rock, which looked securely attached to said cliff face. But then I'm going to say it was because I was so strong as opposed to so heavy, but like just ripped this big boulder off and it narrowly avoided landing on his head. And luckily no one died. And I fell off and he held me on the rope and we were heroes to live to fight another day.
Yeah, you look terrified. Picture that.
Yeah, that was afterwards. Because it was when I found how big it was. You know, it was so quick when it pulled off that you don't realize. And then obviously I went down and we found this like big rock that had smashed in two. And I was like, that really would have hurt if it had landed on your head. But luckily it just missed him. We went down and had cervezas and everyone was happy.
Dos cervezas, por favor.
See. The other thing is I don't speak any Spanish, but luckily the mate I was with speaks fluent Spanish. So yeah, I just smiled at him and he sorted it all out. So that was good.
Also, I've got a question here. It's sent in by one of our regular listeners,
Okay.
Mr. N. Obedy. He wants to know, how's the beekeeping going?
Well, Mr. A and Nobody, the beekeeping has taken a back seat because I've been on my holidays, but now I'm back. I'm ready to move on to the next phase of beekeeping. I've been researching beehives and I've looked at the next step is to buy my hive. So I'm going to get my beehive soon. I was torn between building said beehive or buying an off the shelf kind of variety. So I need to decide, the lie of the land or the.
Yeah.
How much does a beehive cost to buy?
It depends. It depends, mate. So you can get. I've been looking on eBay. You can get like eBay ones for like less than £100, or you can spend like a few £100 on a super fancy one. I'm probably going to go budget. So we'll see, or maybe make my own if I really was feeling keen.
Classic Andy Gaines.
Yeah.
You say make your own, but you'll really get your dad over to make it for you. You hand him the nails.
Basically, yeah. I'd get my dad to come over. He'd do all the research. He'd buy everything, and I'd just make him cups of tea while he was out in my house working. But...
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And Rahul.
Yes,
so,
mate.
we've not mentioned. I don't think we've mentioned this on the podcast yet, but you're going to be running the London Marathon in a month and a bit.
If it goes ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how's the training going?
Yeah, all right. I haven't done anything this week though, but I've got a inflamed bursa on my knee, so I might just have to walk it if push comes to shove. But I'm committed to do it this year, so no matter what happens, it'll either run, walk, or run. We're gonna see.
Crawl.
Yeah,
Awesome, dude.
or could be crawling. Yeah, I got a wedding 5 days after it, so can't really be injuring myself either,
Yeah.
So. Any further than what it is already. So yeah, gonna go out for a run today, see how it is, and just keep plodding along.
Awesome.
So is a bursa an actual thing in the body then?
It's like a shock absorber for your knees. Apparently, that's what the physio told me. So I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, my one's like inflamed and it's rubbing against my hamstring and fighting for space. And yeah,
it's at the back of the knee, right?
it's like sort of back inside of the knee. Yeah. It feels like an air bubble, but it almost makes me want to stop running because like it starts hurting so much. So yeah, I'm just taking it easy. I'm just listening to what the physio says. He's the expert. So just gonna plow along.
But if the marathon is not a victim of the coronavirus, you'll be there.
Yeah, 100%.
You'll be a victim of the marathon.
Yeah. But apparently what I've heard is that they're actually a bit scared to maybe cancel it because they just feel that loads of people just go and walk it and run it unofficially and just do the route.
Wow.
So yeah.
If they're going to do that, they may as well just do it. Crazy times,
Exactly.
eh?
Who's the charity that you're raising money for that?
Alzheimer's Research UK.
Yeah, and doing well. I had a look the other day. You're up to something like $4,500.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. My target was 10 grand.
And let's put the link in the thing below, team.
Yeah, we will. We will put the link in the link below if you want to donate to Rahul. It's a cause that's very close to his family's heart, my family's heart, and probably a lot of families' hearts out there actually. So yeah, no, good luck with it, dude, and hope the training. Hopefully, you can, now that you've had that physio and all that, you can ramp up the training and the bursa can stop fighting for space with the hamstring or wherever we were.
Yeah. That's
Nice.
what it is apparently. Let's see.
Cool. Great to
Awesome,
chat to you
dude.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go and do some work.
Yeah, me too. I've got a wedding to call and somehow edit some images for a slideshow on Saturday. So
yeah,
got to get back on that grind.
I've got 10 days worth of holiday into kind of repent for. So yeah.
Yeah. Go forth and repent. See you next week.
Amen.
1, 2, 3. Listen.
You can listen to previous episodes of the DotCast anywhere people normally listen to podcasts, and you can find out more about 9Dots membership and the 9Dots gathering at 9-dots.co.